Jamila with Epic Entourage. I'm here with Dante Hampton and Logan Taylor. They're with YB Normal. They founded this hybrid company in what, 2015?
Yes, 2015, yep.
Okay, and so tell us about your organization and exactly what you do.
So, with us being a hybrid company, that means that we're for-profit and nonprofit. Right now, we're specifically focusing on the nonprofit side. We'll be rolling out the for-profit side later on in the year. With the nonprofit, YB Normal, we do mentoring, we do community outreach once a month, as well as we do empowerment speaking as well.
Okay. And what age group do you typically work with? Is there a particular age group?
So we do elementary, middle school, high school, colleges, and young adults. And then, we do adults as well, but we don't really focus on that.
Okay, gotcha. What inspired you to start the organization?
Well, in July of 2015, me and another guy that was a part of the organization, me and him had a meeting. We had roughly about 15 shootings in 1 week. And so I felt like that was a cry out to help, to make a change, to be a change agent, to serve my community in an effective way and manner that what we do now.
Gotcha. Definitely. I can definitely see the need in the community for what you guys are doing. And what type of issues do you feel need to be addressed within the community that your organization can assist in reducing?
I think the main issue is accountability and teaching everyone to be responsible, because everyone's hurt, everyone's struggling, or everyone has their own problems, but nobody wants to blame themselves first. And so if you teach accountability and you actually get people around who are doing something positive, and then it'll create like a vaccine for others, and everyone could just, you can bandage up a lot of hurt, a lot of pain when there's resources.
Right.
When there's not many resources, you feel that outcry. You see all that negativity. You see all them crabs in the bucket. You see people complacent. You see people not trying to do anything, and that's the real issue at hand.
Right. We need more of an encouraging culture.
Exactly.
Rather than a culture where we're looking at what's wrong so much as we are trying to find solutions.
Yeah, you don't want to look down on people, and you want kids to realize it's okay to be an electrician. It's okay to be a coach. You ain't gotta be that drug dealer to make $100,000. You can grow up and be an entrepreneur. You can go to school for free. You can go get a trade. Like I work in logistics. I know truck drivers that make $300,000 a year.
Wow.
So it's so many ways to skin a cat, but of course a kid with no resources who ain't never been outside Chattanooga, he wouldn't know that.
Right.
And so that's what the problem is nobody's teaching accountability or even trying to give kids a different experience.
And it's a way that you apply your skills, because it takes skills to be, let's say, a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta be smart to do that.
Yeah.
But if you decide to take the right risk and not so much putting your life in jeopardy, then you can turn it around and make it work for you in anything you're good at, You can use that same intellect and put it towards something that is going to be productive and profitable.
Right.
So what tips do you give others in the community who may have the same concerns? How can they contribute to the cause?
We're always looking for volunteers. The biggest thing that we ask is consistency. That's how you can build some of the things that we've done. It's just strictly off consistency.
Yeah.
If you stay consistent in what it is that you're doing, then what it is it starts creating a habit. And then once it starts creating a habit, now it starts spreading out, and it's like a wildfire. So it's like, okay, how can you stop this wildfire if it's one that's always consistent? You get what I'm saying? As well as we're here to serve, and we want people that want to serve, that understand, hey, YB Normal is here to serve the community. YB Normal is here to empower people. YB Normal is here to help people, you know, find those resources like Dante said. Because the reason being is because, like Dante said, is accountability and not having those resources. So if we can bridge that gap to help you find those resources to want to go to a trade school, to stop you from being in a gang, or to stop you from wanting to be a lookout on a corner or something like that, to be able to change your whole legacy, then that's what we want to do, and those are the type of people that we're looking for.
Got you. I mean, I think just the name alone will attract people who have the same mindset. I mean, you want people who think differently. I mean, everybody's not going to have the same mindset,
Right.
but you make it okay to be different.
Absolutely.
You know, because I ain't never been normal. I'll just be straight up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I make mistakes like everybody else, but, you know, it's about what you take and you do with it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I feel like, you know, it's not normal to be encouraging. I'm not going to stereotype, but you don't find it a lot in our communities.
Right.
You know, I think we're getting to that point where we're realizing how important it is to encourage one another, but because the culture perpetrates so much, such the opposite, it's hard to kind of establish that in your own home, pretty much where it starts.
Right.
And with your friends, you know. And so, you know, my friends will be like, oh, you know, well, I guess it's normal to try to hurt people's feelings or say stuff that's mean, you know what I'm saying? But I was always the one, you know, I don't want to be that way.
Right.
You know, I wanted to build you up.
Right.
I wanted to help you see your potential.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think we need more of that. And I see that's what you guys are doing. And hopefully we can get more people on board to doing the same thing with each other, because it makes a huge difference.
Right.
You know, you fall short, everybody falls short. So you want to go off on somebody every now and then, because people going to test you.
Right.
You know, especially when you're nice and you're trying to be opposite.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to test you.
Right.
And you got to find a way around it.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think, you know, like me and Dante's more like a brother to me. Like, our relationship has grown so tight since he first started. And it's funny that you said that, because the kids that we see nowadays, they're so used to somebody speaking negative on them. They're so used to somebody making fun of them. They're so used to being the class clown, or just hearing negative stuff. Like, you know, me and Dante had a conversation not too long ago, and he was like, man, you know, Logan, you got to understand that kids are raising kids. Like, you got parents that had their child at a young age, and they didn't have their parents. And so now you just creating a legacy of, hey, have a kid at a young age. Don't be there for them. Don't pour into them. Tell them that they bad. Let them do whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that, you know, if you don't know, then how can you change it?
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, exactly.
we can't fault you for that,
No,
and that's
we can't.
understandable.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
but however, if it's somebody that's, you know, trying to help you, that wants to push you in the right direction, then it's like, hey, you know what? Okay, let me give them an opportunity. Let me give them a chance, because a lot of times people don't want to take chances because of what they're comfortable with. You know, some people enjoy being comfortable. You know, and me and Dante talk about that all the time, because Dante's a coach at Tyner, and so, you know, he talks to his young man, and, you know, about being uncomfortable, about, you know, buying out and selling out, you know, to what we're selling you, you know, and just understanding, like, hey, I did this, I've been here, I played high school ball, you know, I went to college and played ball, and so if you can just buy out to what I'm selling, I promise you everything is going to work out.
Right.
You know, so for us, you know, like Dante said, resources, accountability, and we just here to serve. Like I said, that's what we here for. That's our main purpose, is to serve and help others.
It sounds like you want to create a new norm.
Absolutely.
So you can just do so much with that name. I like it. So, what things do you feel contribute to the current challenges we face? I mean, we touched on that, but are there other things?
I'm gonna let Dante go now. I'll probably piggyback off what he said.
challenges would be, I would say, is access to the kids. You know, because Logan had a situation where he helped a kid out. Kid was starving or whatever. He got them a refrigerator, and then the mom came back and sold the refrigerator. So the thing is, what people don't understand is when you're trying to create a new habit or anything like that, it takes a minute. And so, just like when I'm coaching my kids, you know, I tell them one thing because they're with me, but then you go home and there's a totally different avenue of words, delivery, everything. You know, so all you're doing is you creating a gap to where a kid is forced to make a decision. And it's like, and so that's one of the challenges, you know, because anybody can tell you something, but it's like, how do you make that kid feel? And that's one of the challenges to where you want to pour into a kid, you want to pour into a young adult, you know, a millennial, a college kid, whatever, but you don't want to deter them away from them being them. And so that's one of the challenges that we have is, when is it enough? You know, am I pouring in too much? You know what I'm saying? Am I demanding too much of this kid? Because a lot of times we can demand a lot of a kid, and the kid don't know who they are.
True.
So you have to find out. So the challenge is finding out who they are as a person first. And because you have pastors, anybody come in, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, first thing you need to ask is, Chris, what is Chris like? You know, what does Chris do on the norm? What is Chris' thinking process? And I think we oftentimes skip that process because we get so caught up in, well, you need to do this, you know, and telling people instead of, you know, figuring out people. Because if you go across the water in Europe and you're in a business meeting, first, before they do anything, you're going to have some eat and find out, you're going to have dialogue about nothing to do with the business.
Gotcha.
And then you're going to do the business on a whole nother day.
That makes sense. But, you know, if we establish a culture of leaders, you know, kids don't realize they can impact their parents.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They can set an example.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it has to be the other way around.
Yeah.
You know, when you establish, you know, when they know what's right, what's wrong, what makes them feel bad, you know, it's going to be the same thing for an adult. It's the same thing, you know. So, you know, you'd be like, you know, Mom, I don't want to do that because that might be the wrong choice, you know, or, you know, I don't like how that was said, you know. But, you know, if they have that voice, you know, some of them don't have that voice.
Well, some of them don't have that voice because that voice was taken from them. You know, some of them don't have that voice because they don't know how to voice their opinion. You know, I was one of those kids where something happened, you know, if something negative happened, it was kind of like, you know, keep it to yourself.
True.
Don't tell nobody. Don't say nothing. You know, and I had to learn that was wrong. You know, like that's not a form of communication. You know, in our society, or in some African American communities, it's looked down upon if you snitch, or if you talk, or if you tell, or you talk about your hurts and your pains. It looks as if you're weak and things of that nature.
True.
But we got to get over to the kids and get over to, you know, the people in our community to let them know, like, hey, it's okay for you to be hurt. You know, it's okay for you to express how you feel. You know, it's okay for you to, you know, if you got to cry, you know what I'm saying? Because dad didn't come, like, you got to cry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But after you cry, we need to come up with a solution on how we can fix this. You know, if it's, you know, you don't have, you know, stuff to eat or things of that nature, okay, yeah, it's okay for you to cry. It's okay for you to be hurt. Complain about it. Do whatever you need to do to get that mess out. Get that junk out.
Yeah.
But after that, we need to figure out what's the solution.
Right.
You know, like, we can't keep having these problems and then don't have a solution for it. You know, like, it's just not going to work like that. And so, when we have problems, like, you know, me and Dante, we about solutions. If there's a problem, okay, what's the problem? Bring it to us. Okay, now here's the solution. What can we do to fix this?
Right.
And so that's what it's about.
Right. And, you know, if you don't deal with it, it'll manifest itself in different ways.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how you get the destruction.
Absolutely.
If
you don't face it, you become it.
Exactly. Well, let us know what events you guys have coming up.
So next week, actually, we'll be reading at some elementary schools. They're
Okay.
doing an event called Read All Across America.
Okay.
So we'll be serving at Woodmore Elementary as well as Brown Academy
Okay.
downtown. We'll just be serving and just reading to the kids, you know, just pouring into them, letting them see some positive reinforcement as far as, you know, African American males,
Mm-hmm.
because of course we don't see a lot of that.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that we be a beacon of light to those kids and just love on them, empower them, and be able to instill something that can last with them for the rest of their life. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Exactly. So how can you be reached?
So if you want to reach us, we're on all social media outlets. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, as well as you can email us at ybnormal2016@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can call us at 423-708-5617.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that number is 423-708-5617, and our email is ybnormal2016@gmail.com, and it's how my shirt is spelled, ybnormal.
Why be normal? Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you for
I
the
appreciate it, and
Appreciate
keep
you.
doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Okay. You guys tune in to www.epicentourage.com for more information, more things that's going on in the community. And if you're looking for resources, you can find them on our website about different things that's going on, and you can get involved. Thank you.